no! They've confirmed several times that she's actually naked! You didn't need to do that! The number of people who left comments on that video is trying to explain why it's actually good or it actually still makes sense that she's naked is ridiculous. Some context for people who didn't watch that video. I said it doesn't make sense that she's naked because when we meet Mirio, they explain that they made his costume out of hair so that his powers would affect his costume. And as such, they very much could do the exact same thing for her. But they don't, because they want her to be naked. And I got thousands of comments of people being like, yeah, but like, it makes sense though. And all of the justifications are absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to address the 3 most common justifications in this video. The most common justification I saw in those comments was, it would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to sew with invisible thread. And to that I have to respond, do blind people not sew? Are there not blind seamstresses? No, of course not. But even ignoring that, do you think it's being sewn by hand? They're most likely just putting it into a machine that weaves the hair into thread, and then into a different machine that sews it into a clothing template. But again, even if we ignore that option, Best Jeanist exists! His power is literally controlling fabric with his mind. You think he would struggle even a little bit to make an invisible costume? Now, the second most common justification I saw was people saying, why does it matter if she has clothes? She's invisible. You can't see anything anyway. And to that, I gotta say, do you guys think clothes only exist for modesty? Clothes' primary function is protecting us from our environment. Even setting aside the possibility of characters like Mineta bumping into her by accident and copping a feel of her naked body, this girl goes into combat zones and disaster areas completely naked. That's just straight up not safe. And then finally, the third most common argument I saw, I think was mostly a joke, but people were saying you can't make clothes out of her hair because what if she's bald? Which, like, setting aside the fact that there's almost certainly a character whose entire power is just growing people's hair, we have seen her not be invisible, and she very distinctly has hair. This is what she looks like when she's not invisible. And if you're wondering why I have censored this image behind me, it is indeed for the exact reason you think. They put this on the cover of the magazine. There is no real in-universe justification for her being naked. They just want her to be naked.